Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a video on what to look for when buying a used car. Before we get started, my car, I haven't driven in a few days, so the belt is cutting up, so you might hear that in the background, but excuse it. I'll try to talk loud enough and clear enough where you can understand. But let's get started. What to look for when buying a used car. Now, before you go buy a used car, you want to start the internet first. There's a lot of car formulas, and people leave a lot of comments on what might be wrong with a certain type of car. You can break it all the way down to the year of the car, make, model of the car, and all that good stuff. So that's where you want to start at. So that way, let's say you're online and you researching and it say, well, such and such car has problems with leaking thermostat. So if you know that, and that's just still the type of car you want to get, you can, all right, so I know I need to look for a leaking thermostat when I go check this car out. So when you go check the car out, you can look for a leaking thermostat or etc. So that's one way. Two, when you're going to buy a used car, you want to make sure you take your good flashlight with you. If you're buying a car that has low miles, let's say under 100,000 miles on it, you will want to take your flashlight with you. This is for any mile car, but especially ones that you might be buying that has low miles on it. Let's say you take the flashlight with you and you want to look in the engine bay, look up under the car if you can. If you can't do it yourself, take somebody with you who can. You want to check for any type of leaks. Cars with like low miles, like 50,000 miles or 80,000 miles, somewhere in there, really shouldn't have any leaks. A lot of people will sell your car with the mileage rolled back or with the cluster changed in it, and then they have lesser miles on the cluster or on the miles rolled back, but the car might have 150 or 200,000 miles. So that's why you want to check for leaks and stuff like that, because if a car got 50,000 miles on it, shouldn't have any leaks. The motor should be pretty clean up under the hood and all that good stuff. Next, you want to look for what type of shape the car is in. If you're going to buy a car, when I go buy cars, I look at the body and you want to look at the interior, all right? So if you buying a car that's, you're not trying to spend that much money on, if you spend, under $5,000, okay, yeah, you might have to end up putting some work into the car. So by looking at the body and looking at the interior, so if I got to put money into the car, I don't want to have to put money into the interior and into the body. So one of the two needs to be on point. So you either need to have a nice clean body or very nice clean interior. All right, not both. If both of them messed up, walk on past that car. And then also, you don't want to have to put a lot of money into a used car that you're buying. If it depends on how much you spend it to. So you're gonna leave that part at that. But definitely, so you want to check on the internet for any things that might be wrong with a certain type of car. Make sure you take your flashlight. You want to look over the car, look up under the hood, look for any leaks, because that gives you a little space to negotiate if you still want to buy that car if you see any leaks or anything. Suspension, make sure you check suspension, check the frame. You can use the flashlight for all of this. Make sure the frame isn't bent. A lot of people say your car, man, probably been in a wreck. They might have fixed the back, but the frame might be bent. You want to make sure that frame is straight as an arrow. Make sure the suspension, the joints, the ball joints and things like that, make sure the boots on them are, not leaking grease. They might have a little cracks in them, but if they leaked all the grease out, then now it needs some suspension work. You want to know that before you buy it, because you don't want to get down the road and the wheel come off, or it'll fall down in the road, something like that. All right, now a lot of people buy and fix cars back up after they've been wrecked, things like that. So now if you just don't want a car like that that's been wrecked and fixed, you want to make sure you check the body lines on the car. Make sure all the lines are even all the way across from the fender to the trunk. All lines should be on point. A good way to tell is the pinstriping on the car. If the pinstripe on the fender is right here and then the pinstripe on the door is right here, that means it's been fixed back from a wreck. They say you can use Carfax and things like that to check for accident history and things like that, but there's ways to get around that, and people can, if you pay for the car to be fixed yourself, it's a chance it might not end up on the Carfax, or you might wreck it and fix it yourself, and then who's gonna know? So that's why Carfax is not always the best route. Don't just look at the Carfax. You know, get a little more information, much as you can. Next, you want to check the oil in it. If the oil is black or dark brown, that means they haven't changed the oil in it. The tires are wore out. That means they just rode the car and they haven't put any money into it, and now they're just trying to go ahead and sell it. And so if you got a car with wore out tires, definitely look at the tires. They tell a lot about the car history. A person who cares about the car gonna keep some good tires on there. If your money low and you just don't care about the car, you're gonna ride them tires till they ball, and then you're gonna turn around and say, man, I'm just ready to sell it now and wore it out and need some parts on it. And so that's one thing to check for. Also, if the car got if all 4 tires are mismatched, don't buy it. That mean they buy tires as they need, like 1 tire at a time. That mean they really didn't care about the car. At least it's all right to have 2 different name brands, but if you got 3 or 4 different name brands, that's a problem. I mean, they just buy tires as they need. I mean, they don't really put forth that maintenance that they need to put into the vehicle, because usually you rotate the tires as need be. And usually they should wear out in the pair, not one at a time. So that means if they're wearing out one at a time, that means something might be wrong with the suspension or something like that. Next thing we're looking for a car. All right, so you want to crank it up, hear how it sounds. You know, you shouldn't hear any knocking, any type of ticking, anything like that. You shouldn't hear any of that. Next, make sure it isn't smoking. Drive the car around. Make sure it's not overheating. You know, don't just drive it, 5 minutes up the road and come back. Let it run. You know, if you're checking the car, go ahead and crank it up. Let it run while you're talking with the person who's selling it. Let the car run and let it get all the way up to good working temperature. You can put it on the highway and drive it. Make sure it's shifting good, shifting drive, shifting reverse. No shuddering, no slipping transmission. And if you don't know any of this, you might want to find somebody who even just know a little bit about cars and take them with you, and that'll definitely help you with buying a used car. Like I said, you might want to take you a piece of paper and write down certain things to check out, and that way you won't forget while you're out there. Also, make sure everything works in the car. If everything's not working, you want to negotiate on the price with them and see can you get a better deal on the car. Other than that, that's pretty much what you need to look for when buying a used car. Now, I might have left a few things out, but for the most part, if you do those right there, then you should end up with a nice car. Now, don't forget, if you just buying a used car for, like, I would say anything under three grand, it's gonna require some work. Don't go try to spend $1,500 on a car and think it's gonna be, in excellent condition. That's rare. I mean, more than likely, it's definitely gonna need some type of work. When buying a used car, you're gonna have to spend a little more money to get you one in excellent shape. A lot of people think they can go and spend a cheap amount, man, and get a great car, and then come to find out it's not a great car. But that's because you decided to be cheap. Don't be cheap. Don't spend a little extra money. Even if you have to buy a cheap car and say, well, hey, I might put some money in it down the road, then that you might have to do that. So just remember that. But other than that, let me know if I missed anything. Leave it down in the comments. Let me know, and I'll get back with you. But other than that, hey, we're gonna be doing a lot of more talking about cars, and just about cars. That's what this channel is about. Street Cruisers 101. My name is Richard. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm out.